Coach, the energy out there felt different. What changed for the team today?
It was the new game day scratchers from the California Lottery. Players everything. Those games sent the team's energy through the roof.
Are you saying it was the off-field play that made the difference on the field?
Hey, a little play makes your day, and today, it made the game. That's all for now.
Coach, one more question.
Play the new Los Angeles Chargers, San Francisco 49ers, and Los Angeles Rams Scratchers from the California Lottery. A little play can make your day. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase, play, or claim.
Protect your home and auto by bundling them with Progressive, and you'll have a little less to worry about. But we know you'll find other things to worry about. Like that text you just got from your boss. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Oh, hey, call me when you get a sec. Yeah, this is bad. Oh, well, at least you protected your home and auto with Progressive, so you don't have to worry about that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hunter Renfro.
Hey, Tide fans, looking for something wild right here in Tuscaloosa? Bring the kids, bring your friends, and come to Bama Reptiles and Ranch in Northport. Just minutes from campus, they've got Asian water lizards, tortoises, colorful snakes, and for the horse lovers out there, ranch supplies. They are the cleanest and healthiest reptile store in the state. And their feeders? Best you'll find anywhere. If you mention this Stingray sports ad, you will get 10% off of your feeders. Remember, Bama Reptiles and Ranch, where exotic meets extraordinary. We have saved the best preview show for last. And the reason that I say that is because tonight we are wrapping up the SEC previews with the defending SEC champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, who went 11-3 last year under Kirby Smart. However, they were knocked out of the playoffs by the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And here's a shocker. The transfer portal took their quarterback to Miami. Gunnar Stockton is the new quarterback at Georgia. How will they fare in 2025? Georgia alum and ESPN senior writer Mark Schleybaugh joins us right after this open, right now on the Georgia Bulldog Preview Show.
Hi, this is Tim Brando with a reminder. Those of you on Tide 100.9, look out. You're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. You know, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, look, no.
Hey, Stingray, here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good. It's kind of sexy on the surface. Yeah, but then you get the baggage, you get the drama, you get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, to everyone in Tuscaloosa listening here on Tide 100.9. With the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And with that, I want to welcome you inside the Georgia Bulldog Preview Show. This is the final SEC Preview Show of the season here on the Stingray Show, and it is only fitting that we are talking about the Georgia Bulldogs on National Dog Day, because National Dog Day is today, and to do a deep dive into the Georgia Bulldogs, who are coming off an 11-3 record last season, here is ESPN senior writer and, most importantly, Georgia alum Mark Schleybaugh to do a deep dive into the Bulldogs of Georgia. Mark, how are things with you as we sit here just a few days before the start of the 2025 college football season?
Doing well, Stingray. Just wrapped up golf for a while. The Tour Championship in Atlanta. Was down there all week last week. waiting for the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black next month. And, I get about 24 hours off, and then I dive into football. So here we are.
So, Mark, if you would, go ahead and talk about everything that surrounded the quarterback change of Carson Beck moving from Georgia to Miami, Florida, and how all that came about, please.
Well, obviously he got hurt at the end of last season and injured his right elbow in the SEC championship game on the last play of the first half. Had to have surgery, which prevented him from going into the NFL draft, where he wanted to go. Potential, started the year as a potential number one pick, threw too many interceptions. Georgia's receivers were atrocious last year, led the FBS in drops. For whatever reason at the tail end, he and Georgia kind of parted ways. He when he was hurt, he went and got his own surgery done. Did not come back to the team until the day before the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. The fact that he didn't stick around and help Gunnar Stockton get ready, I'm not sure sat well with some of his teammates. But, he got a ton of money to go to Miami. That's the way it works in college football today. Yeah. I know Mario Cristobal and their offensive staff are really excited about him, fully recovered. He's back throwing. I wish the best for the kid. I hope he does well down there. I know Miami's excited about their chances this season. So hopefully it all works out for Carson Beck and he goes in the draft where he wanted to go.
All right, you live there in Georgia. If you would give us a quick little preview of the hype and the expectation for this Georgia team coming into this season.
Well, Kirby Smart's, built probably the best program in the country now that Nick Saban's retired. I think Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, you could pick any of the three. Georgia's won 2 national championships. Texas still trying to get over the hump under Sark, and obviously Ryan Day got it done last year. But, it's a young team. It's probably Kirby Smart's youngest team since he got here. A lot of guys left for the NFL. Carson Beck left, as we mentioned. I think anything short of 10-win season is probably a disappointment around there now. Right. Not getting back to the playoffs is a goal, but I think Kirby kind of likes where his team is at, flying under the radar a little bit nationally. Everybody's talking about Texas and Arch Manning. A lot of people high on Alabama in year 2 under Kalen DeBoer. I am as well. But Georgia, I think their only preseason All-American was their punter, Stephen, who's coming off a knee injury, non-kicking leg. But, nobody has piled up 5 stars and 4 stars quite like Kirby. So I think they've got some really good players, but a lot of them are young and unproven.
Let's go on ahead and start doing position by position, and we will start with the quarterback position and Gunnar Stockton. What do you feel like we could see from this football team with Gunnar Stockton, because now this is his team?
Yeah, he's a kid up from Raven County up in the North Georgia mountains, was a really prolific high school quarterback, broke some of Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence's passing records, passing yards, touchdown records, played at a small school. Is a guy that Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo have known for a long, long time. Kirby's late father, Sonny, was a longtime high school coach up in Raven County, did not coach Gunnar, but was around him when he was younger. Mike Bobo's father, George, had moved up to that area as well. He and Sonny Smart were buddies. So, they've been very familiar with him. Kids described as a winner, a hard worker, a little bit on the short side, but, can run, mobile, puts his shoulder down, doesn't like to go out of bounds. I think you saw the way the Georgia team reacted when he came into the game in the second half of the SEC championship game against Texas last year. They really rallied around him. He made the one big mistake when he was trying to throw it away, but otherwise played pretty well. And then, struggled a little bit in the Sugar Bowl against New Orleans, like most of Georgia's team did. And, I don't think he's gotten nearly enough credit for stepping into that situation and playing as well as he did. He faced 2 top 5 defenses two of the better defenses in the country last year, and held his own. So I think a full off season as the starter, running the summer workouts, developing chemistry with his new receivers, I think will help him. And the good thing for Georgia and Gunnar Stockton is they get two, non-conference games against Marshall and Austin Peay to get ready for the big road trip to Tennessee.
Yeah, that's right. They have a very soft, which is good, start to the season because usually Georgia starts off with a big-time opponent like a Clemson or somebody like that.
Yeah, no, I think playing Marshall at home, which is under a first-year coach and then an FCS program, I think Kirby, with a new full-time starting quarterback and a young roster like we talked about, I think it can only help playing at home.
So, Mark, we are up against our first break of the evening. When we come back, we are going to talk about one of the staples for Georgia under Kirby Smart. That is the running back position, how that position looks there for Georgia, and then we will get into the wide receivers. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show. We will be right back. Residents of Tuscaloosa, are you guys upsizing, downsizing, looking for college housing, or even relocating for your job right here to Tuscaloosa? If that's the case, then you need to contact Celeste Hagler, owner and operator of First Class Real Estate South Home Group right here in Tuscaloosa. She can help you with the buying, selling, and investment needs throughout the state of Alabama. You can contact Celeste at 205-861-5698. Reach out to Celeste again at 205-861-5698 and schedule a consultation to discuss your real estate goals and to live where you love in the state of Alabama. It's dinner time, West Alabama, and if you are craving fried catfish with tartar sauce on a grilled bun, or maybe even a fried chicken tender with Swiss cheese, grilled onions, and an avocado spread on French bread, that sandwich is called the Jose, then you need to check out the Coker Market, which is located at the four-way intersection just off County Road 140 in Coker, Alabama. Their hours of operation is Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Go by and check out the Coker Market off of County Road 140 there in Coker, Alabama for community goods and wonderful barbecue. For over 100 years, the Bank of Moundville has been a name clients can trust. The Bank of Moundville is more than just a bank. They're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Their unique approach to financial education has always centered around families. They believe that financially strong homes today lay the foundation for a brighter futures for tomorrow's generation. You can call them today at 205-371-2227. Once again, that is 371-2227 to schedule an appointment to build your financial security. The Bank of Moundville is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. The world of fast fashion has complicated clothing production by outsourcing around the world to whoever can sew them the cheapest. And now you, the consumer, are paying the price with rising costs. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. So when you buy from American Giant, you're taking a stand for hardworking people, local communities, and quality clothes. American Giant directly supports American manufacturers and ensures you aren't footing that tariff bill. Support American-made, tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.
Coach, the energy out there felt different. What changed for the team today?
It was the new game day scratchers from the California Lottery. Players everything. Those games sent the team's energy through the roof.
Are you saying it was the off-field play that made the difference on the field?
Hey, a little play makes your day, and today, it made the game. That's all for now.
Coach, one more question.
Play the new Los Angeles Chargers, San Francisco 49ers, and Los Angeles Rams Scratchers from the California Lottery. A little play can make your day. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase, play, or claim.
Know what's going on with the Crimson Tide? Then subscribe to our YouTube channel for exclusive content on your home for Alabama 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back inside the Stingray Show. This is the Georgia Bulldog Preview Show. My guest this evening is Mark Schleybaugh, the Georgia alum and ESPN senior writer. And Mark, before the break, we were talking about the quarterback position for Georgia. Now let's talk about the running back position. And Georgia is known for having elite running backs. What does that position look like for Georgia in 2025?
Yeah, last year they struggled to run the ball, which was surprising. I think they ranked next to last in the SEC in rushing. It was the lowest output in the Kirby Smart tenure. When you've had Nick Chubb and Sony Michel and some other guys in the past, it was really surprising that tailback you couldn't get it done when it mattered. Bring back Nate Frazier, kid out of Compton, California, who had a big year as a freshman. Fumbles were a little bit of a concern at times, so he needs to take better care of the ball, but he's a guy that's clearly the number one tailback. He's got breakaway speed, physical runner. They brought in Josh McCray, the big running back from the University of Illinois, who had a really good bowl game against South Carolina. He was sick during the first week or two of training camp, so got a little bit behind, but he's a big physical runner that's going to help him goal line and short yardage. And behind them, it's kind of an unknown. They got Chauncey Bowers, who hasn't done much, but had a good spring practice and good fall camp. They got a freshman, Bo Walker. I think any SEC running back named Bo Walker is probably going to be pretty good, but he's a smaller guy, but got a lot of attention in the spring and summer and the fall or summer camp. I think with an improved offensive line, I think Georgia would like to get back to its roots. The recruiting knock on Georgia was that they didn't throw the ball enough, which is why they couldn't get any receivers. And then last year, the complaint was they threw the ball too much and didn't run it enough. So we'll figure out where they land this season.
You cannot please a fan base, man. You just absolutely cannot.
I should have worn my run the damn ball hat, Stingray.
That's right. So, Mark, let's go ahead and talk about the wide receiver position, because you mentioned in the first segment that they had atrocious issues last year of dropping the ball. What kind of an upgrade did they get this season for the wide receivers?
Yeah, it's the one area where Kirby really targeted during the offseason. They went out and got Zachariah Branch, a junior from USC. Was a spectacular kick returner as a freshman, was productive at wide receiver for the Trojans, but didn't have the impact they thought he'd have last year. He's bigger and faster since he got to UGA. He's a guy that Kirby's really excited about, both in special teams and at receiver. Noah Thomas, transfer from Texas A&M, was another big target for him. He's a bigger wide receiver. You put him on the field with Colby Young at the same time, it's going to create some matchup problems for him. Dylan Bell's back. He was a slot guy last year. They played him at running back a little bit. He's a good athlete. He needs to take better care of the ball as well. And he had drop issues at times last year. They got two freshmen, C.J. Wiley and Talon Taylor, that they're really excited about. I think both those guys could get on the field. And then London Humphreys, who transferred in from Vanderbilt last year. He didn't play a huge role last year. I think he scored a touchdown against Georgia Tech in that crazy 8 overtime game. But he's come on this year. Kirby says he's kind of taken a leadership role in the receiver room, and surprisingly, he might be their biggest deep threat just in terms of straight line speed.
If you would, go ahead and give us who you think the top 3 wide receivers are going to be for Georgia at the end of the season based off of statistics.
I think Branch and Thomas are going to have a huge impact for him. I think Colby Young, who's a guy that missed most of last season because of some off-field issues. I think he's going to be a huge red zone target, jump ball guy for him. When he was suspended last year, it really hurt him in those areas. So I think those three guys probably.
All right.
Don't forget the tight ends, though, Stingray.
Right.
Tight end you.
That's right. I was just about to go there. Talk about what you feel like this offensive line is going to do for Georgia in 2025, please.
Well, I don't think it can be any worse. Last year, they really struggled to run the ball, got pushed around at times. Injuries certainly hurt them. But, 4 new starters. They got some guys that played a bunch. Monroe Feeling. The left tackle was a guy with a lot of experience. Micah Morris, senior left guard. He's battling a hand injury in camp, but it shouldn't hurt him. Drew Bobo, Mike Bobo's son, had to step in last year and play some. He's apparently had a really good preseason camp, has a chance to play in the NFL. He's a redshirt junior. The right tackle, Ernest Green, had a shoulder injury last year, which really hampered him. And then they may end up starting Juan Gaston, a true freshman at right guard. He's battling Daniel Calhoun and another kid. If he ends up starting against Marshall, he'll be the first true freshman starter on the offensive line since Cade Mays in 2018. So Stacey Cyril's their offensive line coach. Has really pushed them in the offseason. They just got to get a better performance up front to be productive on offense.
Mark, real quick, a couple of years ago, Georgia was just so talented at tight end. Oscar Delp, tight end. Not trying to put him as a first-round draft pick, not trying to put him as an all-time great, but can he be good or great this season?
He's a good athlete, and he really hadn't done much last year up until like the Georgia Tech game, and he came up huge in the Tech game. He was big against Texas with a couple catches on the sideline. A really good blocker. Not Brock Bowers. I mean, the AP all-time All-American team came out a couple weeks ago, and Brock Bowers was the number 1 tight end on the all-time All-America team. So that tells you how good he was, and he's already probably the best tight end in the NFL. But they've got 2 proven guys in Delp and Lawson Lucky, who's another really good athlete with good hands. And then they brought in 2 more freshmen. Ellis Williams, big 6'7" kid, I think. He's had a good camp. I may have mispronounced his first name, but he's another huge target. They love throwing the tight ends. You're going to have to learn how to block before you can get on the field. But they and Mike Bobo's offense probably use tight ends as well as anybody in the country.
I'm glad you brought up Mike Bobo. I know last year was a lot of the drops, but Georgia fans just cannot fall in love with Mike Bobo, the coach. The player different. The coach totally different with the play calling. Your thoughts on the play calling last year?
I think he was. I think he was hamstrung a little bit. He had a quarterback that was throwing too many interceptions in the middle of the season, as we talked about earlier. For whatever reason, they couldn't run the ball. Right next to last in the SEC in rushing, lowest output of Kirby's tenure. That was because of offensive line play more than anything else. And you couple that with the most drops in the FBS, and you're not converting third downs. You're not converting, you're not creating short yardage plays on third down. So put a lot of pressure on Carson Beck, and, they've got to eliminate mistakes. That being said, it was good enough to win the SEC. So
guys, we're up against another break, and when we come back, we are going to switch to the defensive side of the football for the Georgia Bulldogs. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show. Mark Schlabach will continue with us right after this on the Georgia Bulldog Preview Show. Hey, you looking to upgrade your ride? Alabama One has you covered with auto loan rates as low as 3.99 APR. up to $500 cash back. And the best part, no payments for 90 days. That's right. Buy or refinance and keep the cash in your pocket while you drive the ride you want. But hurry, this limited time offer ends October the 31st. You can apply today at alabama1.org or by calling 1-800-225-0110. Once again, auto loan rates as low as 3.99 APR, up to $500 cash back, and no payments for 90 days. Remember, Alabama One together. South's Finest Meats is offering a great bundle this week through August the 26th. That is bagged leg quarters and pork spare ribs for $39.95. Let me read that again to you guys. 3-pack of pork spare ribs along with a 10-pound bag of bagged leg quarters for $39.95. Go by South's Finest Meats today at 3201 10th Avenue and make sure you take advantage of some of their great sales through August the 26th. It's dinner time, West Alabama, and if you are craving a fried chicken tender with Swiss cheese, grilled onions, and an avocado spread on French bread, that sandwich is called the Jose, then you need to check out the Coker Market, which is located at the four-way intersection just off County Road 140 in Coker, Alabama. Their hours of operation is Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Go by and check out the Coker Market off of County Road 140 there in Coker, Alabama, for community goods and wonderful barbecue.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Coach, the energy out there felt different. What changed for the team today?
It was the new game day scratchers from the California Lottery. Players everything. Those games sent the team's energy through the roof.
Are you saying it was the off-field play that made the difference on the field?
Hey, a little play makes your day, and today, it made the game. That's all for now.
Coach, one more question.
Play the new Los Angeles Chargers, San Francisco 49ers, and Los Angeles Rams Scratchers from the California Lottery. A little play can make your day. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase, play, or claim.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little hope over here?
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
For more from Tide 100.9, let's it fly! Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and SoundCloud.
South's Finest Meats is offering a great bundle this week through August the 26th. That is bagged leg quarters and pork spare ribs for $39.95. Let me read that again to you guys. 3-pack of pork spare ribs along with a 10-pound bag of bagged leg quarters for $39.95. Go by South's Finest Meats today at 3201 10th Avenue and make sure you take advantage of some of their great sales through August the 26th.
Welcome back, SEC fans. You're listening to the Stingray Show here on Tide 100.9 FM. I'm Heath Hopkins. Along with me, of course, is Stingray and our special guest, senior writer from ESPN, a friend of the show. He's joined us several times over the years, Mark Schlabach. It's always a joy to get Mark to join us because sometimes we'll talk about Mike Leach. We'll talk about Duck Dynasty. We'll talk about some random things. But today we're talking about the Georgia Bulldogs here on the preview show. Now we rotate to defense. Mark, I'm very impressed with this defense. I don't think the defense is going to carry this Georgia team, but I think it's going to be a spotlight. I think it's going to be a big, bright, shining star. I think this is going to be one of the best defenses in the country. I think Texas might have a little bit better defense. Alabama might have a little bit better defense. But I think Georgia's in that same category right there with those two other schools. I think this will be one of the best defenses in the nation. Am I wrong thinking that?
I mean, I wouldn't doubt Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann, but this is a young defense. A lot of guys are going to have to step up who haven't been big-time contributors in the past just because they lost Jalen Walker. They lost Mikael Williams, their top two pass rushers, lost Dan Jackson on the back end of that defense, who was, a mainstay for 3 years. But, as I told Stephen earlier, there aren't many programs out there who've stacked up 4 stars and 5 stars as much as Kirby. And it's just guys stepping into new roles and getting more snaps. And, I think defensively they're going to be a top 10, 15 defense in the FBS.
If there is a question mark on this Bulldog defense and a concern coming into the season, which position would you say?
So I think it's the defensive line. They lost Walker, who's a linebacker, but played on the edge quite a bit. He had a ton of sacks last year. Williams was hurt the last couple of years, but, productive enough and had enough potential that he was a first-round pick. Damon Wilson, a guy they thought was going to step up into an edge rusher role and get to the quarterback, transferred to Missouri, which was a big surprise. They bring back Gabe Harris, a junior, who's probably going to be the number one defensive end. Elijah Griffin, 5-star out of Savannah, is a guy they're really excited about. J.J. Hane, who is from Germany.
Right.
Early in camp, raising a lot of people excited about what he was doing. He could get in the field the first couple of games. Nose tackle Christian Miller is probably their most experienced player. Was a highly recruited kid coming out of high school. Had some maturity issues early. He's gotten faster, stronger, more mature, the leader of that group. Xavier McLeod, transfer from South Carolina last year. He came on really strong at the end of last year against Texas and Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. So he's another guy that's going to play a bunch, but probably interior depth and just identifying 2 or 3 guys on the edge who can make an impact and get to the quarterback. They brought in Elo Madozi from Army. It was a little bit on the lighter side, but really productive player for Army. He had a really good start to camp. I think he kind of hit a wall a little bit just in terms of the speed and the heat. And, I'll be curious to see how much he plays early.
Now, Mark, I do have a quick question for you outside of this football team. The last time that the Georgia Bulldogs lost there at Sanford Stadium was October the 12th of 2019 against South Carolina. With all of the changes that have been ongoing in college football, talk about that incredible streak of not losing at home for the Georgia Bulldogs since 2019.
You know who coached that 2019 South Carolina team, Stephen?
Yeah.
You know who it was?
Muschamp?
Yep, Will Muschamp, last guy to beat Kirby at home.
Yeah.
And he was a huge underdog in that game. I think they missed 2 or 3 field goals. No, I mean, it's become one of the most intimidating and loudest environments in college football, which wasn't always the case.
Right.
Kirby's really transformed that and turned it into a weapon. If you remember Notre Dame coming to Georgia a few years ago, I think they had 5 or 6 false start penalties. And it's big because you got Texas, Ole Miss, and Alabama coming to Athens this year. So home field advantage needs to continue to be huge.
Yes.
Mark, what position group are you the most concerned about on defense? Is it the secondary? Is it the backers? Is it the D ends? Is it the D line? Which ones really got your eyebrow raised the most?
I mean, again, I think it's the interior defensive line. I think their linebacker core with Chris Jones and Raylan Wilson. Chris Cole's another kid they're really excited about. C.J. Allen, a veteran that's been really productive, should have been an All-American probably. I think they've got one of the better linebacker cores in the country. Back in, K.J. Bolden played a bunch as a freshman. He's going to be one of the best players in the country. Dalen Everett, corner, came on late last year, had a couple big turnovers generated against Texas. He's got a chance to go in the first round. It's just the interior depth on the defensive line, and then identifying some pass rushers on the edge.
So we are up against our final break of the evening, and when we come back, we are going to dive exclusively into Georgia's schedule and get a prediction on how Mark Schlabach thinks the Georgia Bulldogs are going to do in 2025. That's on the other side of the break, and you're listening to the Stingray Show. The Georgia Bulldog Preview Show will return right after this. Has it always been your dream to build the pond of your dreams, but you don't know if property you own or are thinking about buying has a good location to build a pond on? You need to contact Honey Hole Fisheries right here in Tuscaloosa County, because Jeff Bagwell will help you decide if property you own or are thinking about buying has a good location to build a pond. You can contact Honey Hole Fisheries at 205-799-0192. Once again, that is 799-0192. And hey, Jeff Bagwell can also order top quality automatic fish and hunting feeders for all of your outdoor recreation. Contact Jeff Bagwell today, once again at 205-799-0192, to help you build the pond or lake of your dreams. With all of the recent tornado damage and storm activity here in West Alabama, Alpha Insurance and hometown agent Jeff Nee can help you personalize your insurance needs. Remember, the more you protect, the more you save. With a helpful customer service team here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi, you can count on Alpha to provide an insurance plan that provides the protection you need, the convenience you expect, and the service that you deserve. For all your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call Alpha Agent Jeff Nee at 205-758-2577. Once again, 758-2577, or drop by their office on McFarland Boulevard East, Suite 101 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And remember, Alpha Agent Jeff Nee, the more you protect, the more you save.
Right now, they're...
Hola, bienvenidos a IKEA. Esa cara la conozco. Se están preparando para la uni, ¿cierto?
Hola. Ay, sí. Y hasta ahora no hemos encontrado un mueble que le guste a mi hijo y a mi bolsillo.
Acaban de llegar al lugar indicado. Aquí encontrarán todo lo que necesitan para crear una nueva historia en la uni. Con todo el estilo y lo mejor a precios accesibles.
Así hasta yo quiero volver a la uni.
Estrena la uni con IKEA. Compra en IKEA-USA.com/universidad y escoge entre envíos a casa, cientos de puntos de recogida y más.
Coach, the energy out there felt different. What changed for the team today?
It was the new game day scratchers from the California Lottery. Players everything. Those games sent the team's energy through the roof.
Are you saying it was the off-field play that made the difference on the field?
Hey, a little play makes your day, and today, it made the game. That's all for now.
Coach, one more question.
Play the new Los Angeles Chargers, San Francisco 49ers, and Los Angeles Rams Scratchers from the California Lottery. A little play can make your day. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to purchase, play, or claim.
Protect your home and auto by bundling them with Progressive, and you'll have a little less to worry about. But we know you'll find other things to worry about. Like that text you just got from your boss. Hey, call me when you get a sec. 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 Yeah, this is bad. Oh, well, at least you protected your home and auto with Progressive, so you don't have to worry about that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Follow Tide 100.9 on Facebook today to watch our live shows, read the great articles, and interact with Bama fans today.
Hey Tide fans, looking for something wild right here in Tuscaloosa? Bring the kids, bring your friends, and come to Bama Reptiles and Ranch in Northport. Just minutes from campus, they've got Asian water lizards, tortoises, colorful snakes, and for the horse lovers out there, ranch supplies. They are the cleanest and healthiest reptile store in the state. And their feeders? Best you'll find anywhere. If you mention this Stingray sports ad, you will get 10% off of your feeders. Remember, Bama Reptiles and Ranch, where exotic meets extraordinary. Welcome back inside the Stingray Show. This is the Georgia Bulldog Preview Show. Our guest this evening is Mark Schleybaugh, senior writer for ESPN and Georgia alum. And Georgia is coming off an 11-3 season last year. And Mark, when you look at the schedule, one of the most interesting things about that schedule is that the Florida and the Tennessee games have been flipped a little bit because you get Tennessee earlier in the season this year. Talk about the schedule and especially that Tennessee game being early.
Yeah, I mean, that's traditionally where it had been, and then they moved it back in the schedule after Oklahoma and Texas came into the league. But, if Nico was still there, I would think it could be a potential roadblock for them, but Georgia has won, I think, 8 in a row against Tennessee. They haven't had many problems winning up there. Some of the games haven't been very close. We'll see how good Aguiar is, the Tennessee new quarterback from App State. But I think Georgia probably still has a little too much for Tennessee. They get a week off before Alabama comes to town. I think could end up being the best team in the SEC. I think it may be Georgia, Alabama, or Texas. We'll see how much better LSU is on defense. I'll get a chance to see them in person Saturday night at the other Death Valley up at Clemson. But, 2 weeks before Bama's going to help, that'll be the Bama game and the Texas game are probably the two biggest hurdles they have to get over.
How do you see the Georgia Bulldogs faring this year after coming off of an 11-3 season a year ago?
I think maybe 10-2. I think if Stockton's better than some people think, 11-1. You get most of the big ones at home. Bama on September 27th. Ole Miss comes in October 18th. Florida's in Jacksonville, obviously. And then Texas at the end of the year. That one could be huge with an SEC title on the line, depending on how things shake out. We talked about the Tennessee road game. I think the Auburn road game could be tricky, although Georgia, I think, has won 17 out of the last 20 games in that series, which is just absolutely remarkable. And then, Florida last year, if Lagway doesn't get hurt, Florida maybe wins that game. So his health is going to be a big issue for the Gators. But, I think the days of an undefeated SEC champion are over. I think it's just too hard with the transfer portal and NIL and Texas and Oklahoma in the league now. I think most of your SEC champions are going to be 11-1 or 10-2.
Right.
Mark, I'm talking big picture here for our next few questions. I thought it was hilarious here in the past few days. We have heard about the playoff committee is not going to punish you of playing these big time matchups to start the season and these, neutral site games and things, that they're not going to punish you. And then shortly after, the 9-game schedule is announced with the SEC. How much pressure was put on by the College Football Playoff Committee to get the SEC to that 9th game?
Oh, I mean, the ironic thing for me, or the funny thing for me, is I would have hoped they were using strength of schedule before.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously it wasn't much of a factor because Indiana got in last year and Alabama didn't. Yeah. It's got to be one of the top 2 or 3 criteria they use. Mm-hmm. And, hopefully with the SEC going to 9 games, we're still going to see Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame, Alabama, Wisconsin, because those are the games people want to see. They don't want to see Georgia Marshall or Georgia Austin Peay.
No.
9-game schedule, it gets them on a level playing field with the Big Ten. So hopefully we can get the next iteration of the playoff done here in the next few months before the end of the year. But, the other thing for me is I don't want Georgia, Georgia Tech, Clemson, South Carolina, Kentucky, Louisville, Florida, Florida State. I don't want those games to go away because.
Right. That's where I was going with this.
They're so big in the tradition and state bragging rights at the end of the year. I mean, those games have to continue.
Yes.
Is that a threat right now? Are those being put on the chopping block?
I don't think so. I think you'd have some governors get involved, which is the last thing we want. But those games matter so much to fans on both sides that, they're irreplaceable. I just don't think you can do away with them.
So, Mark, to wrap this up, I've got 2 questions about week 1. The first one, you talked about that you were going to the Death Valley game between LSU and Clemson. If you would break that game down for us, please.
Yeah, I think 2 of the top returning quarterbacks in the country, Kate Klubnik from Clemson, Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, had a huge season last year. They bring back Aaron Anderson at receiver. Big question with LSU, obviously, how much better are they on defense? Brian Kelly said they spent $18 million on this roster. It better pay off. I think they'll be better in year 2 under Blake Baker in terms of knowing the scheme and everything. Got to get Harold Perkins more involved. LSU's lost, 6 or 7 straight openers? Yes. This one's not easy. You don't want to get behind the 8 ball again after one game. The biggest concern for me for LSU is just up front that Clemson defensive line is really, really good with Peter Woods. They picked up Will Heidel, transfer from Purdue.
Right.
Can the LSU offensive line hold up?
Yes.
Mark, what's next for college football? We've seen, the playoff expanded. We heard the SEC is going to 9 games. We've heard all this and that. What's next for college football?
Hopefully, collective bargaining, a salary cap, a commissioner, getting everybody on the same page, doing away with some of these crazy NIL deals. It's trickled down to the high school ranks. We saw the kid from Savannah, Georgia, commit to Texas Tech, and apparently he's getting $900,000 when he gets there. I mean, it's just this kid hadn't taken a snap as a high school junior yet, so it's still a little bit out of control, but. With revenue sharing and some of these new enforcement standards they're putting in, hopefully things get a little bit more under control. But, as soon as they'll make a rule to control it, a collective or a state will sue the NCAA and they'll be back in court, which is just amazing.
Where's it going to go after that?
Probably back to where Nick Saban told me about 10 years ago. He said, eventually we're going to have 36, 48 teams competing in 3 or 4 big conferences, just like the NFL. And heck, Stephen, it might even be geographically aligned to where teams on the West Coast are playing teams on the West Coast, teams in the Midwest are playing teams in the Midwest. But it'd take pretty significant changes to get there because I just don't see the Big Ten or the SEC giving up the power that they've earned over the last couple of years. It's definitely significantly unbalanced. The Big 12 and the ACC are treading a little bit of water, but I don't know. I don't know what you do with the South Alabamas and the Georgia States and the Armed Forces academies, that are all an important part of the sport, but I just don't know that they still need to be competing with Alabama and Georgia and Texas and Ohio State and Michigan.
So, Mark, this has been an absolute blast. To wrap this up, give us a couple of teams that you feel should be on upset alert in week number 1 of college football.
Whoa, now you're putting me on the spot, Steve. I haven't gotten that far. I'm still wrapping up golf. I picked Texas to win the SEC and play for the national championship. I would not be surprised to see them go to Ohio State and lose.
Okay.
I'm high on Arch Manning. I remember I was a sideline reporter for a few of his games down at Isidore Newman in high school, and I'll never forget this guy asking me, "How do you know he's any good when he's playing at such a small school?" I said, "Well, he's 6'4". He can run, and his last name is Manning. I think I'll take my chances."
Right.
But there's a lot of pressure on him. He played some last year behind Quinn Ewers, but Ohio State lost a ton. Bring back Jermaine Smith, best receiver in the country. Julian Sain stepping in. Horseshoe's a tough place to go. So maybe that one's going to be a fantastic ball game.
Yeah.
Florida State will not beat Alabama.
Okay.
It's a great first week, though.
Yes.
Man, it's incredible. Miami over Notre Dame?
Ooh.
It's just 10-6. If Carson Beck's healthy, Miami's got a chance. I'm not going to say the U is back because I've heard that 6,000 times in the last 10 years, but this team could be good. They got a really good offensive line, and he'll have better protection. They've got a couple of young receivers that need to step up, but Miami over Notre Dame. It took Marcus Freeman a while to name C.J. Carr the starter.
Yeah.
And I think there's a reason for that. So we'll see how good they are. Notre Dame lost a ton from that team that reached the national championship game.
Any team that's just going to fall flat on their face this year, Mark? Any team that screams out to you like this is a disaster waiting to happen?
I can never figure out if Auburn's going to be good or bad.
Right.
When I say they're good, they end up bad. When I say they're going to be bad, they end up good. I just have questions about Jackson Arnold. Mm-hmm. And we saw that Hugh Freeze was a bit frustrated in preseason camp. They're stacked at receiver with Cam Coleman and the kid from Georgia Tech, Eric Singleton, who's a fantastic player. Offensive line, how good are they going to be up front? Are they really going to have three coaches called on first, second, and third down, or is he exaggerating? Is he going to play three quarterbacks? If they lose to Baylor, it's going to get ugly fast.
Yes.
And no program gets off the tracks faster than Auburn.
Yeah.
And they already dislike him because he plays too much golf. I mean, I wish I got to play as much golf as Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
But we'll see. If they beat Baylor and Jackson Arnold takes care of the ball, runs it well, and Hugh Freeze, because he can run. He ran it well against Alabama last year. But that's another one. Florida, if DJ Lagway gets hurt, Napier could be in trouble too.
Yes. So, Mark, the game that you're going to walk out the door, LSU or Clemson, who wins the Death Valley battle?
I don't have much of a feeling either way, but I kind of lean towards Clemson because they're at home and what we talked about is in terms of the defensive line. But LSU is loaded, and they spent $18 million, and they got some good players.
Okay.
If Patrick Payton, the Florida State transfer, can step up and give them a little bit more pressure with Perkins, and they can get after Klubnik a little bit, they'll have a chance. But I think it should be a great ball game.
Mark, be safe in your travels going to Clemson, South Carolina. Have a wonderful time covering college football this season, and we would love to catch up with you during the season to get your thoughts on college football and the SEC.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
All right, and Mark, sick 'em, go Dogs.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
All right, so when we come back on the Wednesday evening edition of the Stingray Show after Hey Coach, we are going to continue with the Alabama situation and the Alabama season, as we are going to be doing a deep dive into the Florida State game, as we're going to be joined by a beat writer for Florida State and Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Will touch on the Alabama Crimson Tide. So immediately following Hey Coach tomorrow evening at 7:30, we will be doing a deep dive into the Noles of Florida State versus the Crimson Tide of Alabama in week number 1, and we will see you tomorrow night. And Heath, I've got Georgia going 12-0.
Wow. I hadn't even broken it down, but I know Georgia's a favorite, man. I definitely think they're a playoff team, but I haven't sat there and broken it all down yet. But I know Marshall's in trouble. They lost their whole team to Southern Miss, and they got to play Georgia to start the season. That's a recipe for disaster.
Heath, I will leave you with this on the final preview show for any Georgia fans out there. Sick 'em dogs, let's go.
Wow. You need a dog biscuit for that one.
Hey, I've done it for every show. I've done the SEC thing that they do, so I had to do it for Georgia.
Fair enough.
Protect your home and auto by bundling them with Progressive, and you'll have a little less to worry about. But we know you'll find other things to worry about. Like that text you just got from your boss. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Oh, hey, call me when you get a sec. Yeah, this is bad. Oh, well, at least you protected your home and auto with Progressive, so you don't have to worry about that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. The world of fast fashion has complicated clothing production by outsourcing around the world to whoever can sew them the cheapest. And now you, the consumer, are paying the price with rising costs. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. So when you buy from American Giant, you're taking a stand for hardworking people, local communities, and quality clothes. American Giant directly supports American manufacturers and ensures you aren't footing that tariff bill. Support American-made, tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.